What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, so we're going to continue our coverage over X-Men comics, and we're working our way up to X-Men Inferno, but now we pick up with Marvel Comics Present. Now, this was a anthology series. Each book would focus on two or more storylines happening for two or more characters. So for example, the first issue of this series was about Wolverine, Man-Thing, Shang-Chi, and also the Silver Surfer, but they had their own adventures going on separate from one another. Now when it came to Marvel Comics Present, the first 10 issues, Wolverine was the star of the book. Matter of fact, Chris Claremont wrote a Wolverine story, but the story was broken up into 10 separate issues. So if you wanted to read his story, you had to collect Marvel Comics Present issues number 1 through 10, or just go out there and find the trade that has all 10 issues put together into one nice little book, so that you are able to read this and get the full story. And so as we get into today's storyline, we pick up with Wolverine in Madripoor. Now Madripoor is a very interesting country in the world of Marvel Comics. And the reason why I'm saying that, because if you go there, you are almost allowed to do almost anything there and get away with it. There's no laws there. And so it's just free game. Now when it comes to Wolverine, he went there for a special reason, but when we do pick up with Wolverine, he just arrived at a certain bar. Now when Wolverine walked into the bar, he realized the shop owner, or the bar owner, sorry, is getting beat up by a group of thugs. Now when it comes to Wolverine, he's not scared of these thugs at all. Now when it comes to the bar owner, his name is O'Donnell, and he will play a very important role in this storyline. But either way, when it comes to the group of thugs, they do warn Wolverine to get the heck out of there because they believe they should be able to handle him. Wolverine is not leaving, and you have Wolverine just go ahead and beat down on the thugs like it was nothing. Now, they do take a hostage, and they do tell Wolverine if he does take another move, the hostage is going to die. But Wolverine said, go ahead, shoot her. I'm telling you right now though, after you kill her, you're mine, and trust me, you do not want to be left alone with me. And the guy gets so scared, he lets her go and runs out of the bar. And so Wolverine was able to save O'Donnell's bar and his life as well. Now you do have O'Donnell tell Wolverine thank you, and Wolverine's all like, hey man, listen, just give me a free drink and we are all good. Now, when it comes to O'Donnell, he will play a very important role, but so will the lady who thanks Wolverine for saving her life, who was the hostage earlier, and her name is Sapphire. Now when it comes to Sapphire, she is really trying her best to tell Wolverine thank you, if you know what I mean. But either way, when it comes to Wolverine, he does tell O'Donnell why he is here in the bar, and he says, listen, a friend of mine known as Dave Chappell told me to come here. Now when it comes to O'Donnell, he tells every single person who works for him to pull out their guns and point it at Wolverine, because he says, I don't know how you know Dave Chappell, but Dave's been dead for a while, which means there's something going on with you. Who in the world are you? But as we dive into the second chapter, that is when we pick up with the main bad guy of the series, and that would be Ra's. And yes, that is his name because I did look it up. Now when it comes to Ra's, we kind of find out that he's very upset because the thugs we saw earlier were working for him. And he was very upset that they were not able to take down O'Donnell, or to at least bring him over to Ra's. And so you have Ra's say, you know what, it's time for you guys to die. Now they beg and say, please sir, give us another chance. And he says, fine, you want another chance? You're gonna have to defeat the guy I just hired, because I believe the new guy I just hired is way better than you. And that would be Razorfist. Yes, you heard that right, Razorfist. That is his name. Now when it comes to Razorfist, well, he first appeared in Master of Kung Fu number 105, where he was supposed to be a new enemy for Chang-Chi, but this is Marvel just moving him around for other characters to fight against him. Now he was just hired by Raj to go after O'Donnell, but either way, the thugs earlier who were just begging for their lives for another chance, they have to take down Razorfist. And let me tell you right now, they do not take him down at all. He takes them down. Matter of fact, he kills them just like that to move on with his day. Now, the reason why Razorfist was hired by Raj was not just to take down O'Donnell, but to find the person known as Tiger who is trying to remove Raj. See, Raj is the kingpin of crime in Madripoor, but somebody out there known as Tiger is trying to replace him. And the question is right now, who is it? Is it O'Donnell or somebody else? But getting back over to Wolverine, who's right now surrounded by a bunch of guns, and O'Donnell, you have Wolverine say, listen, the reason why I know about Dave is because I found Dave in the desert right before he had died. It seemed like somebody had tortured him, and because he was tortured so badly with so many wounds but left out in the open, the desert, he died. But right before he died, I found him and he told me to bring back this necklace to this bar. And that is why I'm here. That is the only reason why I'm here. And that is the only reason why I know about Dave. Now, at first, when it comes to O'Donnell, he doesn't want to trust Wolverine. He believes that Wolverine could possibly still be a bad person. But after a while, he realized that, you know what? Wolverine is most likely good, so I'll let him go. Except when it comes to Wolverine just chilling at the bar and enjoying his free drinks, he realized that somebody is watching him. And so when he turns around, he sees a lady outside the bar looking right at him. Now, once she realized that she has been spotted, she dips out of there, but you have Wolverine follow her. Now, once Wolverine's able to catch up to her and unmask her, we come to find out it is Jasan Hoan. Now remember, we saw her in our last Uncanny X-Men video when it came to the X-Men saving her from the Reavers. But the question is right now, why is she here in Madripoor? Now here is a quick rundown on Josanne. See, Josanne used to work at a bank alongside with her family. Matter of fact, her family owned the bank. But the bank was attacked by a group of characters better known as the Reavers. Now, when it came to the Reavers, they wrecked the bank, stole from the bank, and also killed off most of her family. Now, they took her as a hostage, and the reason why? Because they realized that she was a great financial advisor. They wanted her help when it came to their finances. Now, also, when it comes to the Reavers, they're half human, half cyborgs. And so when they had kidnapped Josanne, their goal was to also turn her into a Reaver as well until the X-Men were able to save her. Now, right after the X-Men were able to take down most of the Reavers, the X-Men ran into a problem. Because remember, right now, the entire world believes that the X-Men are dead, and the X-Men are working from the shadows. And the problem they had was they just took down the Reavers. If they put the Reavers in jail, well, the Reavers could tell the secret of the X-Men saying, hey, they're not dead, they are alive. They were the ones who had stopped us. And so you had Lady Roma come in and use the Siege of Perilous as a way to restart the lives of the Reavers, to make them forget about becoming Reavers, but to also forget about the X-Men. Now, when it came to Josanne, she was supposed to walk through the same Siege Perilous as well, but she did not. Instead, you had Lady Roma just send her back to the bank, but were left to believe that she had possibly forgot about the X-Men completely, because when we jump back into the present day, when it comes to Wolverine realizing who it is, she does not remember Wolverine at all. And you have the two characters begin to fight one another to the point where she is actually able to take down Wolverine and get away. Now, while you have Wolverine trying to get back up after being taken down by Josan, he's then confronted by Sapphire. Now, Sapphire's full name is Sapphire Styx, but I'm just gonna call her Sapphire for the entire video. Now, this is where we learn that Sapphire is actually a mutant. She has the ability to absorb other people's life energy. Now, on top of that, when she does that, it kind of gives her the ability to live a tad bit longer. Now, we also kind of find out that Sapphire is really a villain. She's working alongside with Razorfist, which means that she is working for no other than Roche, which also means that she's trying to help Roche bring down O'Donnell. Either way, when it comes to Sapphire, because she was able to go in for a kiss for Wolverine, she was also able to take a full amount of his energy, which then leads into Wolverine passing out and now being taken as a hostage. Now, as we dive into the 4th chapter, we do pick up with Wolverine waking up in a dungeon but being bound by some chains. Now, that is when he realized that Sapphire is a villain, but she's also working alongside with Razorfist, but they are working for a character known as Raj. Now, this is the first time that Wolverine is meeting Raj. Now, you have Raj tell Wolverine, hey man, listen, the reason why I grabbed you because I got word that you were a close friend of Dave Chappell. Now, we also kind of find out that Raj was the one who had tortured Dave, which we already know Dave died by his injuries in the middle of the desert. But when it comes to Raj, he said, the reason why I grabbed Dave because I got word that he was working for the Tiger, this person who is trying to replace me as the kingpin of crime in this area. And I couldn't have that. But unfortunately, when I was torturing Dave, he could not tell me anything I wanted to hear. But then you appeared, and I heard that you are a close friend of Dave, or you met Dave. And so I'm wondering if there a possibility that you may have information that I want to hear. Now, when it comes to Wolverine, he's trying his best to not say anything at all. But then you have Raj say, oh no, you are going to talk because the 4th member on my team, the Inquisitor, will have you saying everything I want to hear from your mouth when he's done torturing you. So Inquisitor, go ahead and begin to torture him. But getting back over to the bar, we do pick up with O'Donnell having a drink, or really just having a meeting with Josan. So now we know that these two characters know each other. Now here's the thing. O'Donnell is telling Josan that Wolverine was captured by Roche. Now once she hears that, she's kind of like, okay, you know what? I should go out of my way to save his life. Now O'Donnell, he's saying don't do that at all. And matter of fact, Wolverine does not know anything at all that could ruin our entire operation. So we should be okay. But when it comes to Josan, she's saying no, I should go save him because I didn't save Dave. And now Wolverine got captured and I feel like it's my fault. But getting back over to the dungeon, we kind of find out that Wolverine has not said anything at all, but he has been tortured for a while now. And when it comes to Raj, he said, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a break for right now. We'll let him kind of regather his strength, and then we'll come back down here and continue to torture him, and hopefully we'll get more information out of him. Now, as soon as they leave the dungeon, you have Wolverine being able to use his claws to break out of the chains and begin the process of trying to escape. But the problem is Wolverine still has not fully recovered, and so while he is trying to escape, he runs into Razorfist, somebody who's not even tired at all, not even injured at all. And so right off the bat, it's not going to be a fair battle for our hero. And so while you have the two characters fighting against each other, Razorfist wins by stabbing Wolverine over and over again. And his body has not healed up from the previous injuries when it came to him being tortured. And so after he got stabbed and collapsed on the ground, you then have Razorfist kick Wolverine in the river, and then he falls down a waterfall. But as we dive into the 5th chapter, we do pick up with Wolverine continuing to be tortured by Rosh and his crew, except now they're in the desert, and Wolverine hates it a lot. The heat, the pain from his injuries is just killing him. He wants to die right now. Now you do have Wolverine being able to gather enough strength to break free, but the problem is though, that was all he had left. And so as soon as he breaks free, you then have Razorfist, Sapphire, and Inquisitor being able to take down Wolverine like it was nothing, because he is not at full strength to fight these guys all at once. But right after they were able to defeat him, you then have Rosh kick Wolverine off another cliff again, except this time it's Rosh saying, "I'm done with you. Goodbye." Now, luckily for Wolverine, he was saved by Joseon. Now, this is where we kind of learn that Joseon does remember Wolverine. But as we saw at the very beginning of our video, she made us believe that she has forgotten about Wolverine. Well, that is not completely true at all. But either way, once she is able to find Wolverine in the water and get him on her boat, she begins the process of trying to patch him up. Except when you have Wolverine trying to heal, when he looks at Joseon, he thinks of the past woman he loved, which is Mariko. And I'm not going to sit down and dive into who Mariko is. But once you have Wolverine being able to fully heal up and get back on his feet, he tells Joseon, "Thank you for helping me out." And then she says, "It's the least I could do because I owe you, because you had saved my life in the past, Wolverine." And so it's kind of like, wait a second. So you do remember Wolverine, because earlier you made it seem like you had no idea who the guy was. Now, as we dive into the next chapter, we do pick up with Joseon explaining things to Wolverine by saying, "Listen, when it came to the Reavers taking me away because they realized that I was a great financial advisor who could help out with their finances, well, you also have Pretty Boy, one of the Reavers, begin the process of trying to reprogram me, because he has the ability to reprogram someone's mind, and his goal was to reprogram her mind into a mind of a Reaver. Now, luckily for her, the X-Men arrived to save her just in time, but the process was almost done. And so even though she was saved by the X-Men and sent back home by Lady Roma, she was still changed mostly by Pretty Boy. And so her mind does not work properly like it should. Now lately it has, because over time she has gotten better. Now, when it comes to Joseon, she tells us that after the whole ordeal with the Reavers, she was able to go back home thanks to Lady Roma. But when it came to the few family members who had survived because they were not there at the bank when the bank was attacked, they began to look at her differently, wondering how she was able to survive, and kind of wondering if she had a hand when it came to the idea of the bank being attacked. And so she left the bank behind. But then when it came to her trying to find a new job, she couldn't find a job almost anywhere she went to. And so she wondered why in the world wasn't she able to find a job, because she was overqualified. But then she began to do some digging, and we kind of find out the only reason why the Reavers had attacked the bank, her bank, was because they were hired by Roche. And on top of that, when it came to her not being able to get a job, because of Roche again. And so when it came to Joseon, she said, "You know what? I got tired of him, and so I came here to get rid of him." And she tells Wolverine that after leaving her home country behind and coming to Madripoor to begin the process of trying to take down Raj, she also began to learn different kinds of skills. And these skills began to help her to do an uprising on his territory, to try to take over his territory. Now, when it comes to Wolverine, he understands that she is doing this as a way for revenge for what he has done to her family, but also to her and her life. But at the same time, he's wondering, what are you going to do when it comes time for you to actually take over his territory? And she says, I will become the new crime lord of Madripoor. Now, when it comes to Wolverine, he's all like, I'm a hero, and my job is to stop guys like you. And so you're telling me if I help you take down one crime lord to make you a crime lord, then I have to wonder what to do with you. Now we do see Wolverine and also Josan arrive at a boat that belongs to a crew that has been helping out her. The problem is, as soon as they get on the boat, the entire crew has been slaughtered, and all signs point to Razorfist, which shows that they're getting closer and closer to figuring out that she is Tiger. Now they realize that one crew member is missing, and she hears him crying in the other part of the boat, except when she runs over to that other part of the boat, that guy is surrounded by a bunch of explosives. And right when she opens up the door, the entire boat explodes. Now, as we dive into the 7th chapter, we learn that Wolverine was able to save Tiger's life at the very last second. And so when the boat exploded, they both fell into the water to survive the attack. Now, when it comes to Wolverine, he does pull her out of the water and explain to her that this is now Rosh coming after you full force. He may not know who you are, but anybody who has a connection to you are now going to be targets. And this right here was just the first example. And so when it comes to Tiger, she realized that Wolverine is right. And she also realized what she has to do next, which is finally bring down Rosh. And really, Wolverine is right, because any other businesses out there who have allied themselves with Tiger are now being attacked by the forces of Rosh. And luckily for those businesses, Wolverine and Josan arrived just in time to help protect them. Now, once you have our two heroes being able to take down a few thugs, they begin to question one another to figure out what in the world is going on. And we come to find out that Rosh believes that he has finally caught Tiger, because he believes that O'Donnell is Tiger. And so with them having O'Donnell and believing that he is Tiger, it's Rosh saying, okay, go out there and find anybody who had allied themselves with Tiger. If you find them, kill them off. Now you do have Josan and also Wolverine inform the thugs that their boss got the wrong guy. That O'Donnell is not Tiger, she is. And so now our two heroes say, you know what? It is finally time to get rid of him. It's finally time for the final battle. Now, when we jump back over to Raj and his crew, they are torturing O'Donnell. Now, you would believe that he would go ahead and kill off O'Donnell because he believes that O'Donnell is Tiger, but he doesn't do that. Instead, he says, you know what? I am going to torture you for a very long time. And the reason why? Because you have been trying to ruin me for a very long time. And so every single moment, every single day where you were out there trying to bring me down is now coming back at you in a full-on torture session. I wish you the best of luck. But Raj really believes that O'Donnell is Tiger, the person who was trying to bring him down. And so as we dive into the 8th chapter, we do pick up with Wolverine and also Josan both breaking into the compound together, really separate because you have Wolverine coming in the front while she comes in the back. But either way, you do have our two heroes being able to break into the compound together to finally bring down Raj. Now, I really like this a lot because it really shows how experienced Wolverine is, because he is able to sneak in very easily, but once he is caught, he is still able to overcome different kinds of obstacles. Now, when it comes to our heroes, at first it may seem like everything's going smoothly until you have Josan being able to find O'Donnell. Except when she does find O'Donnell, well, she is caught by the Inquisitor, and so now she has to deal with him. And when it comes to Wolverine, well, he is caught by Razorfist. So now our two heroes have to fight two members of Raj's crew. Now, the next chapter is really more of our two heroes fighting against both Razorfist and Inquisitor. You also have Sapphire beginning to attack Jason. Now, when it comes to this battle, you do have our two heroes winning the battle. Really, when it comes to Jason, she's able to take out Sapphire by just burning her face. And Sapphire is so concerned about losing her image, she basically runs off, and the Inquisitor goes with her. Now, when it comes to Wolverine and also Razorfist, that battle right there is pretty amazing. And it does end with Wolverine being able to defeat Razorfist. Now, we're left to believe that Razorfist dies right here because Wolverine does stab him, but it's comics. So we already know that Razorfist will come back down the road in later books and other titles. But either way, now it's time for Wolverine and Jason to deal with the one person they came here to get, which is Raj. Now, the final chapter is really more of Wolverine being able to find O'Donnell first, not Raj. Now, when it comes to Wolverine, he's wondering where in the world is Tiger, because he told her to get O'Donnell and get the heck out of there. O'Donnell tells Wolverine, hey, she found me, she took care of 2 members of his crew, but then she went after him. Either way, you have Wolverine say, you know what? Let me go ahead and get you out of here. Except as soon as they walk outside, they are ambushed by Raj and a shotgun. Now, the shotgun does hit Wolverine, saving O'Donnell's life, but Wolverine is down for the count for now. And so then, luckily for the two heroes, you have Jason appear and being able to kill off Raj. Now, when it comes to O'Donnell and Tiger, they believe that Wolverine is dead, not knowing that he has a healing factor. And so they just go on with their lives. They believe that Wolverine is dead, and you have Tiger now begin the process of taking over the territory of Raj. Now, after some time has passed by, we do pick up with Wolverine going right back over to Tiger to show that he is alive and well. Now, she is surprised, but now she's wondering what is Wolverine going to do now? Because he told her earlier, hey, listen, I'll help you get rid of Raj, but I'm telling you right now, if you cross the line as a new crime lord, I am going to take you down as well. And so he's telling her that he is going to stay for a while here in Madripoor to watch over her, to make sure that she does not do anything wrong or cross the lines that he feels like are bad lines to cross. Now, when it comes to Tiger, she's all like, okay, fine. To me, you're kind of like my own personal guardian angel. That is great. But you have Wolverine say, hey, while I'm here in Madripoor, you must call me Patch. This was the first time that Wolverine began to call himself Patch in the world of Marvel Comics. Either way, once he does tell her that, she does say, listen, you won my heart, maybe you can win my soul as well. And they kiss. So now this established a relationship between these two characters. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.